Hey guys, today we are making these guava crumble bars. If you've had Puerto Rican food before, you've probably enjoyed the flavors of guava in different desserts. And this recipe was just inspired by that classic flavor combination of guava paste that's sweet and kind of acidic and tart, paired with a super buttery, sugary dough infused with lemon zest and vanilla. The recipe is both incredibly delicious and easy to make. So we're going to start in the base of our stand mixer, or just in a large bowl if you don't have a stand mixer, with our butter and sugar. And we're also adding in our vanilla extract and lemon zest at this stage before we just cream all of those ingredients together. I recently purchased this stand mixer secondhand, and I've been having a lot of fun testing recipes with it, but I've also had success making this recipe in a bowl with a fork or with a hand mixer. Use what you've got and don't overcomplicate it, because you can see here I'm still learning how to use my stand mixer. I ended up having to switch the attachment here because the whisk just wasn't doing the job properly. So anyway, you want to keep creaming the butter and sugar, vanilla, and lemon zest together until they are creamy smooth like this. This recipe is super forgiving, so again, that's why I said you can do this with just like a fork and a bowl, and as long as your sugar and butter are evenly combined, you will be just fine. Next, we are adding in our flour, and you can do this in small amounts, but I've also just added the flour all at once, and that works great too. So if you want to make it simple and easy, just add all of the flour and continue to mix this together until you get this crumbly dough. Like I said, this recipe is super forgiving, and you don't need like a perfectly creamy, smooth, or sticky dough. We actually want it to be crumbly like this. Hence why we are calling these crumble bars. Then in the base of a square baking dish, we are going to add some parchment paper and then add about 3/4 of our crumble mixture to the base of it. We're just saving that remaining 1/4 of the dough for the topping. And then we're just packing this dough into the base of our baking dish with our hands. You want to do your best at this stage to create an even layer of dough, so just don't be afraid to really get in there with your hands and pack it in nice and tight. What happens at this stage is the warmth of your hands really does start to almost melt the butter in this crumble dough, making it really, really easy to move around and form just the way that you want. Now, if you don't have parchment paper or just don't want to use it, you could use a nonstick spray instead. We just want something to make sure that the bars don't stick to the pan once they're done settling. And once the dough is all ready to go, we are going to go ahead and prep our guava paste. I've tested this recipe with both guava paste and guava jam, and it does work with both, but if you choose to use guava jam, I do recommend chilling the bars in the fridge overnight before you cut into them and lift them out of the pan, because the guava jam is just so much softer. It needs more time to settle. But if you use guava paste, you don't have to chill these overnight. You can serve them the same day and they set really well. So I just like to slice my guava paste into thin-ish strips. I would say they're about 1/4 of an inch in thickness, and then just arrange them over the dough so that you've covered almost all of that dough. It's up to you if you want to use the entire piece of guava paste or if you want to go a little bit lighter here. And then we are just adding the rest of that crumble mixture over the top. I like to really crumble it up into small pieces before adding it into the oven. This gets baked for about 35 to 45 minutes, or until the top looks golden brown like this. And then you want to let it set for about 20 to 30 minutes or until it's completely cooled, before lifting it out of the pan and slicing it as you'd like. Because of the square baking dish, you can cut this into 9ths, 12ths, or 16ths, depending on how many pieces you'd like and how large you want your pieces to be. And then from there, I like to individually wrap these, but you could just store in a Tupperware or however you prefer. We ended up eating and enjoying all of the different rounds of recipe testing for this in my house, but the final version on the website really is the best. I hope you give it a try and enjoy. Buen provecho.